Hey, my friend, Stephen Brooks here, and I teach traders who have $25,000 or more in their portfolios how to generate a very reliable salary trading even as little as 5 minutes a week. Plus, we do a lot of work with our AI trading bot, which saves even more time than normal. Now, one of the things that I think is really important to state for the record, and the reason I can state this for the record is because of my experience, not just as a trader who has traded my own portfolio for years, but as a coach. Now, this is the beginning of my 7th year being a coach. I've had thousands of students come in and out of my programs, in and out of my doors, if you will. And one of the things I can tell you that is really, really true in my experience, you're not going to hear this on financial media. You're not going to really hear this available readily on the internet. Most people are not going to talk about this. But I have a very strong belief when it comes to you watching this video as a non-professional trader. I actually don't think there is such a thing as a bad trader. Even if you've gotten negative results or you haven't made the kind of money that you think you should or that you desire to, it's never because you are a bad trader. In fact, if we take 100 people off the street and we kind of teach them how to do it, I would say 0 of them are actually bad traders. Now, maybe a small or a large percentage of them will ultimately end up losing money, but I would argue that a grand total of 0 of them are bad traders. Now, why do I say that? The reason I say that is because in my experience, traders lose money not because of the market, not because trading is overly complex or overly difficult, but traders lose money by and large via self-inflicted wounds. I'll repeat that again. Traders don't lose money because they're bad traders, because the market is overly difficult, or trading is complex. Neither of those things are true. Traders lose money, and if you're one of those people who is watching this video and you've lost money or you haven't gotten the results that you desire, it's not because of the market, it's not because who the president is, it's not because of the Fed, it's not because trading is complex, it's not because the market is rigged against the little guy, and it's definitely not because the market is a big casino. It is due to self-inflicted wounds. It typically comes down to 3 self-inflicted wounds. The first is risking too much money to the point where you are being emotional in your decision-making process. Number 2, not having reasonable expectations of the frequency that you win. And number 3, not having reasonable expectations around the speed of which you win. So here's a hack that I've shared with one of my one-on-one coaching clients that really, really helped this individual. This individual, very smart, very successful, has made a lot of money in business. But when it came to trading, at least when this person first started working with me, they were basically consistently losing a little. Right? Sometimes they would make money, other times they would lose money, but their P&L curve, instead of kind of going from the bottom left up to the right, was kind of going from the top left, not to the bottom right, but just trending down, down, down. And as it would go to the right of the page, it would go lower. And in working with this person, it's not that this person was a bad trader. It's not that the market was overly complex. It was just that this person would lose money consistently just via self-inflicted wounds. So what we ended up doing with this individual, and I highly recommend this to everyone. Again, if you're losing money or just not getting the results that you want, I would highly recommend this to you. Before you place a trade, get a piece of paper and write down what that trade is going to be before you actually take it. So if you're in the market and let's say you're day trading the S&P future, write down, buy 2 contracts at, 5,000 with a 2-point stop loss and a 7-point profit target, whatever it is. Write it down. And then you ask the question, would I recommend this trade to somebody else? Now, what's going to happen most of the time is you will recommend the general concept of the trade to somebody else, but you may not recommend things like how many contracts you're using, the price that you enter at, your stop loss, or your profit target. Thus, it puts another layer in between you being reactive and clicking the button very quickly versus you kind of pausing a little bit and being a little bit more objective about it. So again, here's what I recommend to you. Before you enter a trade, if you're somebody who is not getting results that you want, or you're just getting good results, they're just not where you want them to be, or if you're losing money, have a pen and paper next to you. You can't read my handwriting. I write like a doctor. But have a pen and paper next to you, okay? If you're going to trade for the first hour of the day, have that pen and paper next to you, or a pencil or whatever next to you for the first hour of the day. Literally, physically write down the words of the trade. Describe the trade. I will enter at this price with this many contracts because X, Y, and Z, with this type of a profit target and this type of a stop loss. Most of you are reactive in nature. Most of you do things that you would not recommend to other people, meaning chase trades, risk way too much money per trade, not get in at the right price, not really have any good rhyme or reason why you would actually place the trade. What you want to be able to do is get to the point where the trades that you decide to take are consistent with what you would recommend to somebody else. If that is the case, then what you've done is you have removed a lot of the reactive nature that you have when it comes to placing the actual trades and gotten to the point where they're so sound, you would actually recommend that to somebody else. Now, my coaching client, what ended up happening with this person was it reduced the number of trades this person took by 50%. Now, again, this person did not learn any new strategies. This person did not learn any new tactics. This person did not learn any brand new trades. All they did was slowed it down a little bit. All we did was took a lot of the reactive natureness out of the trading process. And most of the time, what we found out was when this person was trading in much more of a reactive manner, again, they were doing things in the way that they would not recommend it to somebody else. So in doing this, you get to, number one, again, slow it down, remove a lot of the reactiveness that comes with the decisions that you're making. But number two, you get to actually double check, is this really a good idea? Is it such a good idea that I would go ahead and recommend it to somebody else? Right? So for example, if you normally trade 2 contracts and you decide to go to 10 on a trade in a reactive environment where your heart is beating very quickly, you see the market moving, that is a trade you're going to go ahead and take. But if you slow it down and write it down, you're going to say, hey, maybe everything about this trade is a good idea except the number of contracts that I'm using. That's a bad idea. So let's go ahead and take 10 and let's bring it down to 2. This way, again, you take the trade from something that is reactive and potentially rash, which at least in this example it is, and turn it into something that is thought through and so good that you would recommend it to somebody else. So think about it this way. If you're somebody who is watching this video and you are poo-pooing this, think about this for a second. Let's say for the rest of the year you took 100 trades. And those 100 trades that you took are so good, you would recommend all of them to somebody else. What do you think your success rate is going to be? Better than it is now or worse? Probably better. So if just via doing that, not learning any new trades, not learning any new systems, not learning any brand new strategies, if just via doing that and nothing else would give you quote unquote better results, then this is something you should be doing immediately. So again, the steps are like this. When you're trading, pen, paper. When you see a trade that you like, write it down on a piece of paper. what stock it is or future it is, at what price you will enter, why you decided the trade was a good idea, how many contracts you'll be using or how much size you'll be using, what is the profit target, what is the stop loss. Then only take that trade if it is done in a way that is so good that you would recommend somebody else do it. Again, if just via doing that, you feel that your results will be better moving forward, that is something that should turn into a maybe one day to an absolute must. So again, my name is Stephen Brooks. I teach traders that have $25,000 or more in their portfolios to generate a very reliable salary, trading even as little as 5 minutes a week. Plus, we use an AI trading bot, which is just really amazing. If that is something that you want to go ahead and learn more about, go ahead and click on the link I've added to the description of this video. That's going to send you on over a calendar. Go ahead, choose a time that works for you on that calendar. You're going to be scheduling a call to speak with somebody on my team. On that call, we will grill you basically to see if you're a good fit for joining our program. And if we do think you're a good fit, we will extend an invitation to you to join our program. The average member of that program, so far in 2024 makes $4,046 a week. $4,046 a week, which annualized is over $200,000. What I can tell you is the people in that program, we almost never talk about strategies. Like, we did a Q&A last night. We didn't talk about a single strategy. We talked about this side of the game, the side of the game that is not sexy, but the side of the game that can give you the consistency that you're looking for. So again, I would highly recommend if you're losing money or you're not getting the results that you desire, I want you to hear from me. It's not because you're a bad trader. It's not because you're stupid. It's not because you're an idiot. It's not because you don't have a lot of money. It's not because you don't have enough time to devote to it. It is literally because you are likely taking trades that you are likely putting yourself in a situation where you are being either emotional or reactive. And because you're being emotional or reactive, these are trades where, with the benefit of hindsight, you should not have done them, and you know that too. So put a little bit of a fail-safe in between you and your reactiveness. If you see a trade that you like, awesome, I love it. Don't worry, it's not like you're never going to be able to get filled at that price ever again. I promise you. Write it down on a piece of paper. Write down the stock or the future or the commodity or whatever. Write down the entry price. Write down the number of contracts. Write down why you think the trade is a good idea. Write down the profit target. Write down the stop loss. And then after you read it, you think that the trade is concocted so well that you would literally recommend it to your friends and family, then you go ahead and take that trade. And if just by doing that, you would have better results in the future, again, this is why I don't feel that trading is very difficult, right? It's difficult if you sit there and you say, this would help my results, but I'm not going to do it. That makes it difficult. What makes trading easy is saying, well, you know what? Like, that for sure would give me better results. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. So it's a little bit of a 30-second hack between you and your reactiveness. But ultimately, at the end of the day, for a lot of people, or at least the people I've seen do this, it takes them from zero to hero, inconsistent to consistent very quickly, without them having to learn anything brand new. So if you like this video, go ahead, click the subscribe button, like, share, smash the bell, whatever, and I'll see you in the next one.